বিবিএস মার্কেটসের আজকের পর্বে সবাইকে স্বাগতম। দর্শক, আজকের পর্বটি আমরা একটু ভিন্নভাবে সাজিয়েছি। একজন বিদেশি অতিথি আমাদের সঙ্গে আছেন স্টুডিওতে, মিস্টার Vineet Rai, founder and chairman of Aavishkaar Group, an impact investment group based in Mumbai. They are investing globally. They have asset under management of 1.3 billion. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Vineet.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are here to participate the first Dhaka Sankalp. Why you are thinking the next Sankalp should be Dhaka?
Well, I think first, thank you for having me on the show. I'm here simply because this is my fourth visit in last 10 years to Dhaka. But this is a very important one. I came to Dhaka initially to investigate if we can participate in the local markets to create impact enterprises by making investments here. But this visit is actually to proactively participate in what we call building of an ecosystem that would allow Bangladesh to have a very strong internal ecosystem of entrepreneurs that are trying to make a difference to the lives of the people. Not only would actually there be entrepreneurs, but every other actor, so investors, both international and local, as well as the government participation, so that we can actually build the right basics for Bangladesh to thrive going forward.
Okay. What is impact investing? If you please elaborate for our viewers.
So if you actually go back to the last century, 20th century is known for creation of wealth. Every entrepreneur, and I don't think so, humanity has created more wealth than what was created in the 20th century. But at the same time, humanity also created the biggest gap between those who were on the margins and those who became wealthy. At the turn of the century, some of us felt that the same entrepreneurship that created wealth has the potential to make a huge difference in the lives of the people if you can convince those entrepreneurs to solve the problems that humanity face. Now, one of the ways that you can inspire entrepreneurs to do it is by providing them capital that would allow them or unleash the entrepreneurial spirit to bring about change, so that you can either increase the income of the people coming from the poor and marginal strata, or reduce the risk and vulnerability in their lives. Impact investing is that art of convincing money worldwide to participate in these kinds of activities which will unleash the entrepreneurial creativity to solve social problems at scale.
Yeah, I've seen Aavishkaar is in line with 13 of the 17 SDG goals.
Yes.
Okay.
So, sustainable development goals came much later than impact investing. Aavishkaar started in 2001. The term impact investing globally got coined in 2007, 2008. Sustainable development goals came in 2015. And sustainable development goals is the first time 193 governments of the world were willing to imagine a world that humanity has never seen since the time Homo sapiens started walking straight. And that happened thousands and thousands of years ago. Now, what is that goal? The goal is actually to see a world without hunger, without poverty, without inequity by 2030. A very audacious goal, but a very noble goal to actually have a world like that. Now, impact investing, I believe, is going to be a very powerful tool in helping the world achieve those goals. And that is why we believe we should take impact investing to every nook and corner of the world.
Okay. It was really interesting to ask you that you started as a forester, and what brings you to the financial world of impact investment even much before the term was created on the domains?
Yeah, so I think sometimes it is destiny. I never thought I would actually be talking about investing. I genuinely believe investing is not necessarily finance, even though the world believes otherwise. I'm a forester. I was trained a forester. I was hanging on the trees in a forest in Odisha in India when I got married, and my wife actually in some sense questioned and inspired me to leave the forest and to find an alternate career. That alternate career took me to Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and then I probably set up India's first incubator to convert ideas of farmers into business. And it is there I discovered that if you really want to change the world, capital that is willing to take significant risk in order to deliver significant impact needs to be found. And so I actually did not go looking to be an impact investor. I went searching for money that is willing to allow entrepreneurs to change the world. And it started with 5,000 rupees, roughly $100 in 2001. And it has brought us some distance. We now manage close to $1.3 billion. And if everything goes right, we want to contribute significantly to the ideals of sustainable development goals and reach roughly $12 billion by 2030 of assets under management.
Okay. I've seen you, majority of your investment is in India, and the next destination you have chosen Africa. Why?
So actually, I didn't choose Africa. We have been working in India for quite some time. We have been doing this for last 20 years. Around 8 years back, in 2013, I actually was again, and this is actually a stimulus that came from outside, where a lot of my investors actually asked me if I'm willing to consider moving out of India. Now, I instinctively know that if any distance is more than 6 hours from where you are, then it is going to be very challenging for you to manage your expansion. So we looked at east and west on both sides and drew circles of 6 hours traveling distance. East Africa fell into that circle, and so did Indonesia on the other side. So Aavishkaar started expanding both toward East Africa as well as toward Indonesia, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka at the same time between 2013 and 2016. We came to Bangladesh and not just went to Africa, but we came to Bangladesh. But we did not come to Bangladesh with Sankalp, which is what we did in Africa. We went with Sankalp. Our belief was we have the capability and capacity to create a very strong ecosystem, and then we should participate with significant capital. In Bangladesh, we came with capital first, and now we are coming with other skills of ours. One of that is actually creating the local ecosystem. And I'm very hopeful and very confident that like in Africa, we just concluded our 10th Sankalp, 1,200 people from 47 countries, large 500 entrepreneurs, around 300, 400 different kinds of investors, capacity building institutions, etc. I think sooner or later, we might actually be seeing maybe in 5 years' time or 7 years' time, a similar number of people from across the globe participating in Bangladesh. Given so that you have a very large population, a very entrepreneurial population, and you have a very large market locally. So I'm actually very hopeful that what we have done in Africa, what we achieved a little bit in Indonesia, we should be able to replicate and make a significant difference to the Bangladesh local ecosystem. It's not that we have not done that. We actually conceptualized as early as 2015-16 the Bangladesh Angel Network. We conceptualized it, we worked with the local parties to create it, and I'm actually very proud of what Bangladesh Angel Network has achieved, and I'm very, very surprised and very for the forward-looking nature that Bangladesh Angel Network has shown by launching the Bangladesh Women Angels Network or Investors Network, which I believe is very forward-looking.
Okay. So Sankalp is the Impact Investment Summit.
Yes.
Okay. What are the impacts you have created in your major portfolio markets like India? If you please share.
Yeah. So let me actually take you back to when I started. I started with $100, 5,000 rupees. My ideal was that can I actually inspire more entrepreneurs to bring about change in India? And when I actually started investing in those entrepreneurs, we were able to actually build not one, not two, 60 odd, 70 odd large companies that are actually impacting lives. We have done so in handicrafts, in water, in sanitation, in health, in toilets, in waste recycling, in circular economy, in microfinance, in banking, in fintech. And today, if I have to actually simply define what we have done in terms of numbers, Aavishkaar Group manages 1.3 billion, has actually 8,000 employees. But more interestingly, we have created more than 120,000 jobs. We have made a difference to the life of around 500,000 people in terms of livelihood increase. And through the investments that we have made
in India or across the markets?
Well, across the markets.
Okay.
And roughly through these investments that we have made, we reach out and touch the lives of 13 crore people. As you can understand, that's a very large number. But we have also started playing a very significant role in sequestering carbon, that is influencing climate change. And we have just announced our first fund, which is going to actually sequester carbon, and that may have actually a big role to play in Bangladesh as well, given that not just India, not just Bangladesh, but the whole world is impacted by what we see as massive climate change. We have launched a fund that would actually play a very cutting edge role in both attracting capital, but building, and in a very simplistic way, growing trees in remote areas so that we can actually trade in carbon and participate in the net zero claim of large number of companies worldwide.
Okay. I've seen in the last 1 or 2 years that Aavishkaar has been growing its funds through the increasing response from investors. How the Bangladeshi firms, the startups you have invested, they're doing, or are they showing the signs of hope to do the real impact?
So we have in last six years invested around $14 million in Bangladesh, which is a very small amount of money given the size and scale of the market. Based on whatever limited learnings we have had during these 5-6 years, we believe that Bangladesh entrepreneurs are reasonably good, but what they lack right now is an ecosystem that allows multiple entry. Now, India's success, when I started, India was not a great startup ecosystem. It was not a great impact ecosystem as well. But one of the things that changed India was the belief of the Indians that this is not really about somebody else coming from outside and changing India, that we must put our capital where the change should happen. And India started changing when Indians started participating in the impact investing and the startup ecosystems of India. I think Bangladesh has made the right noises and the right early steps towards it. A significant amount of effort, if put in, and a significant amount of Bangladeshi high net worth individual participating in the Bangladeshi ecosystem with the belief that Bangladeshi entrepreneurs are world-class entrepreneurs. I think you have the potential and you have the capability to not just build for Bangladesh, but from Bangladesh to South Asia and Southeast Asia, and hopefully for the world.
Just like you have done it from India.
I have done it from India, but I think in Professor Yunus, you have a Nobel laureate who has actually provided solutions to the world. So I think you have an incredible track record already. You have to just take that from one individual and make hundreds of others to participate.
Okay. So thank you so much for joining us to the show. Viewers, he is hopeful that Bangladesh will thrive through impact investment. In fact, we all know lots of social and sustainability problems we still have, and it's a big market in terms of population, also the size of the economy, and let's hope for a better ecosystem. See you in the next episode.